In other news, the Ministry of Education is to consider the rewiring of all old school buildings across the country.
This has become necessary following the spate of fire outbreaks in second-cycle institutions.
In 2 months, 2 second-cycle institutions, the Oti-Boateng and Ghana Senior High Schools in the eastern region, have had their dormitories gutted by fire. The incident caused school authorities at the Ghana Senior High School to prematurely ask first and second-year students to go on vacation. The Deputy Sector Minister in charge of pre-tertiary education, Alex Treme, visited the schools to learn at first hand the devastation after the incident. He hinted on a proposal to rewire all old schools and decongest them as government constructs more senior high schools across the country.
Currently, we have 2 issues on hand. How are we going to address the problem so that after 3 weeks, when students return to school, they will have some place to lay their heads, and then solve the perennial problem of decongestion in the school? And I can assure everybody here, with Minister and the government of Ghana, we will come quickly to help this school get out of this precarious situation.
The Deputy Minister interacted with the third-year students who are due to write the West African Council examination and cautioned them against examination malpractices. Meanwhile, the Architectural and Engineering Services Limited and the Fire Service say they are still working on their interim reports on the fire.
We are thinking of facing the project since it has become very urgent. That maybe we'll do where the learning centers will treat that area before we tackle the whole building, so that the students can quickly move in, while the rest of the facility, the contractor goes on to complete the rest of it.
We want to do what we call safety audit. Yeah, make sure that the premises have necessary fire cover. My men will go around all the schools and make sure that they do the fire audit, and then we'll know what to do.
Meanwhile, the National Fire Service has blamed the recent spate of fires in senior high schools on non-adherence to fire safety precautions mandated by law.
Public Relations Officer of the service explained adopting such measures, including acquisition of fire safety gadgets, will make firefighting in schools easier.
In 3 months, fire has gutted Tobodom Senior High School in the Bono Ahafo region and the Oti-Boateng and Ghana National Senior High School at Koforidia in the eastern region. The fire destroyed school property, running into millions of cedis and affecting academic activities. Although the law mandates every public building in the country to have adequate firefighting devices, Public Relations Officer of the service, Prince Billy Anaglate, regrets most schools in the country lack them. He encouraged heads of schools to comply with these measures to promote public safety.
Head of schools that might continue to flout this, the chief officer will definitely determine what punitive measures that could be meted out to them to force them to meet the safety standard that we have spelled out to ensure that the children's lives are protected.
He said the service will continue its fire safety education and training in senior high schools to enable students and staff acquire basic fire safety knowledge and skills. The public relations officer also admonished students to be safety conscious.
When they are in their dormitories and the lights goes off, the first thing they should do is to make sure that they turn the main switch off, and they should not leave any electrical gadgets on unattended. They should also not hide to use candles when the lights are not there.